Good afternoon. This is Petr Kunz from HCL Company, and I will be your guide for today's online session where we will discuss the latest updates in Notes and Domino version 12.01. The whole session is recorded, so once we finish, all who participate on this session will receive email with a link to download slides as well as watch the recorded video again, so you can share it with your colleagues who couldn't make to this session online. Please, if you have any questions, please write them to the chat session for this go-to webinar. There is a small chat bubble, and you can write your question, and we will discuss those questions at the end of the session. Okay. During the slides and demonstrations and some screenshots and presentations, I will use mainly like from 95% features and products that already exist that you can deploy and install right now, version 12.01. Some of them I will touch slightly that are prepared for the next release that should be out in November or December this year, and it means for these slides I will have a note. Yeah, it is not ready yet. It is planned for the next feature. So some features are planned for the next release. Also, we have in Digital Solutions family more products besides Notes and Domino. We have Same Time, we have Connections, we have Leap, we have HCL Link. This session is only about Notes and Domino. So we will focus only on Notes and Domino, although you can integrate it with Same Time, Connections, and so on. And sorry, please mute yourself from time to time. I will. Yeah. Wait. I can mute people, but sometimes, yeah. And to make it more easier to understand, we created a fictitious company called Showcase Toys. And on this company demonstration, we will show how they progress and how they benefit from the latest Notes and Domino releases. This company upgraded recently from version 9 to version 12.01, and why they did it? Why they used Notes and Domino for applications for years. They were satisfied with version 9, but now they felt it is time to upgrade. The first push, and it is like hard push, is that HCL that we announced in summer that version 9 and 10 is still supported, but end of support is in 2 years. So you please check the dates. In a year and a half, in almost 2 years, there will be end of support for version 9 and 10. Officially, they stop being officially supported, creating tickets, update releases, and so on. And in December this year, we will stop updating old versions like version 9 and 10 on FlexNet, on our download portal. So if you need something to download, if you operate version 9 and 10, and you need some download files, please download them now. This month, it will disappear in December. So please download the files. But it's not just this push that make them to upgrade from version 9 to version 12. They realized that there are many features and updates and expansions that are better in version 12 than in version 9. I categorize them into 4 sections. First is security. Definitely the world around is moving towards stronger security, longer keys, stronger ciphers, new hashing algorithms, and so on. Second is support for devices. Now mobile is is always ready, and if an application is not ready to run on mobile or mobile offline, yeah, it's not well accepted by end users. Definitely, there are many new features and enhancement in development section, in development part of Notes and Domino, comparing version 9 and comparing version 12. Supporting new devices, new features in Lotus script, completely new backend features like new way how to handle big document collections and so on. We will cover it all in this session. And last but not least, administration, a lot of enhancement for admins, automation, managing servers, managing client devices, and so on. So to make it, again, more easier and understand, I split all those benefits into 3 chapters. First is updates and news for users. Middle part is for admins. And the last, third part is for developers. So let's if you are in one of these roles, if you are Domino admin, developer, or just a business user, you can imagine how the benefits will be for yourself. So let's start with a business user. What is completely new in version 12 comparing version 9 or maybe version 10 is a enhanced set of clients, like clients itself, like rich client and web client, plus some completely new clients. This is Notes client version 12.01, running on Mac. Similar, it looks on Windows, and you can see we try to make it more appealing, more better looking, and not only for the client itself, like you can see new icons and so on, but as well as for the templates. So every new template that we create, you can see certificates and Domino backup, like new applications in version 12, got this new look and feel, and we upgrade the existing ones like Domino directory or resource reservations that are on these slides. Yeah, we can update what we deliver. It means we can update system templates that we HCL develop. Updating your custom applications is also possible, but you have to do it yourself, and we have some few tips and tricks how you can do this, especially talking about accessing from new devices, and we will cover in developer section. Let me show you a little bit. Wait a minute. The new client, how it looks like. Yeah, so this is Notes. This is Notes client on Mac. Similarly on Windows, I've got virtual machine running with Windows because I'm on Mac, and this is how it looks on Windows. You can see same workspace, same user interface, same applications. If you want, you can play a little bit with these apps, and for example, as a developer, and this is a good old looking design of the applications. And if you play a little bit with it, you can create a new user interface. This is what my colleague created just in Lotus script, Lotus formulas, a little bit of playing with design, and got this new feeling, new user experience. So this is what I mentioned. If you want, you can make application look a little bit nicer for end users. Now let's check messaging from end user perspective. From end user perspective, this is how email looks on Notes client, on a rich Notes client, version 12. It's nothing surprising, but what not everybody is using is access from web device. So I will show you Verse in a while. The company showcase that upgraded from version 9 to version 12 can offer the end users some features that they asked for. I put just 5 of them into this slide. Invite others to a meeting. So if you are a principal to a meeting and you send invitation, any of these attendees, if you allow it, can invite colleagues or replacement or stand-in to attend to this invitation. They do not need to ask principal to add it manually. In the top right, you can choose email sender, either in Notes client, in Verse. It is useful if you are managing multiple emails or aliases. So sometimes you can send email as John Smith, sometimes as webmaster, sometimes as support@company.com. We offer delayed mail delivery. So you can create and submit email right now, but said, hey, send it not now, but send it tomorrow, 8 a.m., 8 in the morning, 8 hours in the morning. So I do not want to send it overnight. If you set policy, some of the policies like number of attachments, size of the attachments, number of recipients, empty subjects, and so on, you can set that these warnings will end user receive not only after the email is delivered from his or her laptop to server, processed by server. Yeah, hey, this is warning. This is too big, and send back to the sender. No, immediately when you click send, the email is checked, and if there is some warning, yellow or red, you can manage and handle it. And you can also forward emails not as inline but as EML attachments that people can know from other email clients. So this is pretty common, and many people that use messaging on Domino use the rich client, Notes client. But more and more are using web interface, mobile, of course. We've got mobile for years, but web interface is called Verse, and recently we released version 3. This is how it looks like. This is how Verse 3 looks like, and let me show you live. I'm starting Verse, and you can see I do not click on some tab on a web browser in Chrome. Instead of this, I clicked on this shortcut in operating system, start bar, launch bar, and it means that it can look like a common desktop application, even if it is, a Chrome application in disguise. So this application, this is a new Verse 3.0. This is how it looks like. Let me show some nice demo. And we continuously improve user interface. And as we promised, we add features that are present in iNotes and add them to Verse. And some of the requirements, some of the requested features on enhancement was, hey, let's make contacts looks nicer. So we added contacts with a new interface, not the old one, iNotes, but the new interface, the React one. And let me sort it by company name. Yeah, and this is nice looking contacts interface. And if you click on some contact, on some person, you've got photo, email, name, position, company, address, phone, call, mobile phone numbers, and so on. So this is how you can easily create or view your contacts. So this is addition in the latest version of Verse. And another one is if you plan a busy time. If you plan a meeting, you can show busy time, look up if John or Mary is busy or available at the time. Sometimes it's better to have it, all in one table, like we used to know from Notes client, and this is how it looks in Verse. So even in Verse, you can get this nice looking view that shows you instantly, hey, since 9:30, this guy is available and this guy is not. So this is what we added in Verse 3.0. And speaking about clients, in version 12, we added a completely new one, a new client, which is called Nomad. This is version 105 that was released about 20 days ago, so it is pretty new. And as you can see, at first sight, it looks like a classic Notes workspace, but this time is running on a browser. So if you let me close the Verse, and the same way as I started Verse, I start Nomad. Starting, checking with server, updating configuration, downloading policies, and this is it. This is Nomad running in web browser, and in this case, it's cloaked, it's disguised as a desktop application, so-called progressive web application. So for end users, it could look like a classic desktop application. At welcome page, you can see the recently used applications. So it could be handy if you use 5-10 applications. This is useful for you. Of course, you can launch a workspace with apps that you can arrange and move along. This means that you can give your end users, either your employees or external people, you can give them access to Notes applications without rewriting those applications, without recoding them. So you need to rewrite from NSF, from Lotus script and Lotus formulas, rewrite to some JavaScript or some another framework. You can use what you have, and yet the application will be available through Notes browser. For internal users, it's useful if people use Notes client or Notes application from time to time, and you do not want to spend time and money managing so many end user workstations. For external people, it means you can give them access to your internal applications, through internal databases that you specify in access control lists and so on. And you can still keep the high security that Notes provides. I mean, Notes ID, access control list, ECL, execution control list, access to the server, readers fields, and so on. It is all honored in this web Nomad access. So Domino admins can keep the security on high level, and we know from Notes client access. So this is application that is written in Notes and open in web browser. Let me show you some other application like this one. Inventory Manager, it's another example that you can create applications with dashboards and different views, not the boring with the left side navigator and the right side view. From this one, I can switch to different views. If I am manager, I'm interested in, this is orders, and those two orders are awaiting for my approval, so I can quickly approve and they disappear. This is good old Notes application. What I would like to emphasize now is you probably saw Nomad in the past year, Nomad Web in the past year probably. But what is completely new is this small switch, work offline, in this application. And if I click work offline, you can switch from a classic server replica to a offline replica because because Nomad since the last version offers working in web browser with offline replica support. It means, let me start it again. Reload. It means if you go to the workspace, you can switch between local replica and server replica the same way as you can do on your Notes client. You can see it when it refreshed, it continues where we ended workspace. And you'll see those small switches, local and application. And if I click work offline and work online, it switches. And now it automatically switched to local. And now everything that I see right now works from local NSF, not from server. So even if I open the Nomad application and I'm out of Wi-Fi and mobile connectivity, I can still work with the application if it is replicated for local usage. So this is completely new in the latest Nomad versions. To put it summary, all the user or end user client discussion, what I just show you, it means you can give with the Domino and Nodes version 12, you can give them option to choose the device that they want to use. It could be desktop, laptop, some mobile device, even just a web browser. They can choose what operating system they use on this device. On desktop, it's Windows or Mac. On mobile devices, it's iOS or Android. And they even can choose if they would like to work online or offline. Because sometimes you are not connected, and if you want to work with applications, it's better to be offline. And once you connected, your data, your changes are replicated back to the server, as we know from the Notes client. Let me show you just a reminder, because it's not in version 12, but we are discussing what's new between 9 and 12. And this is my mobile. Let me show you my mobile. And just a reminder, Nomad is not just a web client. Actually, it started as mobile client for Notes applications. And this is my iPhone. And if I click HCL Nomad, this is it. Against recent applications, this time recent applications that I used on this phone. And now let me choose another application like this one, Metropolis, the first one. If I click on it, so this is application again created in Lotus script and formulas and so on. And I would like to show you the enhancements that Notes developers can use when they work with Nomad on mobile device. Because on mobile device, you've got access to camera or GPS, for example. This application is operated by municipality, by the city office, and they ask employees to report all the errors and findings that they recognize on city streets. For example, boardwalks and road and constructions problems and so on. So this is how a classic document can look like. And you can see there is GPS location and photo attached. It is because with the latest set of Lotus script features, developers can use location. You can see latitude and longitude. And you can also have access to mobile device photos So let me take a picture. And now you should see, so this is the studio where I'm streaming right now. So this is what is new in mobile, Nomad. And again, if I want the application to run offline, it's as easy as clicking one button, make available offline. And now, okay, yes. And if I will be quick enough and switch, you can see this is how the replication on mobile device looks like. And the same is on Nomad desktop. Replicate all. Ta-da, done. It even downloaded one update from another application. So this is Nomad for mobile devices. And just two summary slides that make product mapping for these metrics, for these availability metrics, because Domino can serve messaging and applications. So for messaging, we offer clients for desktop, which is Notes client, for web, which is Verse, mobile devices and wearables, and also plugin for Microsoft Outlook on Windows that can act and connect, that can act as Notes client and connect to Domino and synchronize email, calendar, and contact and busy time. So this is for email. And for messaging, we offer ability to access one specific application, like this one, travel expenses, from a classic Notes client, from mobile device, either big one like tablet, smaller like phone, and newly, since version 12, also from Nomad running in a web browser. If you look at this right now, you can recognize that it is the same application, and on three devices it looks the same. On one it looks a little bit different, and it is this one because of smaller screen. And you can see the Nomad had to recognize, hey, this is a smaller screen. I cannot use 4 columns because it would be too wide and it would not fit into this smaller iPhone screen. So it had to do some changes and slightly modified design so it fits into this small area. I will talk more about it in developer section because it is matter for developers. Now let's look at admin part. So it was end of user part. And second is for admins. Yeah, somebody mentioned that he looks sad. No, he looks he is concentrated on his work. So he looks busy. For admins, we've got a lot of things and updates that happens since version 9 or 10. So I split it into several sections. First is storage. How much disk, how much space our application, our Domino apps occupy. In version 10, we increased maximum NFS storage limit 4 times, from 64 gigabytes to 256 gigabytes. And just a reminder for those admins that still struggle with big NSFs, Domino offers a way how you can move away certain elements, move away from NSF, and this makes NSF smaller and easier for operate, backup, and so on. First that came to your mind is attachment. We can move attachments away from NSF and store it in local or remote storage. And also big chunk of NSF size are sometimes views. So you can move away view indexes out of NSF. Full text indexes, full text is by default moved away from NSF, but if you want, you can move away for certain databases also view indexes. Let me talk a little bit about this moving away attachments. It is called DAOs, Document Attachment and Object Store, and it has two features basically. First one is you can move attachment from NSF and store it to a local disk, for example, d/DAOs. And second is the duplication. So if the same document is stored in multiple databases, for example, same PDF is sent to 10 people, it is not stored 10 times on this server. It is stored just once, and there are 10 links. It's like symbolic link. 10 links points to this one PDF. This is not new. This is just a reminder what we have in Domino. DAOs was introduced in version 8.5. But what we improved in recent versions, in version 10 and 11, and also in version 12, is that we offer second layer, second tier. What you see on this screen, what is in the first one is a classic server, no DAOs turned on, no DAOs enabled. Once you enable it on one server, you can deduplicate attachments, but it happens per server. If you've got cluster or if you've got multiple locations, multiple data centers, it is allocated server by server. So we added a second tier, second layer that says that provides two features. First, if a attachment is not used, is not accessed for some time, for example, for 6 months, there is a very small chance that it will be needed in the following month. So it could be moved away from, for example, quick but more expensive storage like local SSD drive to some cheaper and a little bit slower storage, but still available for access. So tier 2 means that you move attachments from level 1 to level 2, and this move is based on what was the last date of access. So if they are not accessed, they are moved to the second layer. And what is new in version 12 is that for this layer, you can have a shared secret keys. It means you can do deduplication on multi-server layer. So not only two NSF on one server, but also NSFs across multiple servers, and you can end up with one instance of this PDF. So it can save you money because size of NSF is not represented only on the disk itself. It is also on all replicas, on all backup and archives, tapes, and so on. So every gigabyte save means it saves money, it saves euros. Second part for admins is about operations, like everyday job. I put here into this section not only features that are new, that are fresh new in version 12, but I added some enhancements from version 10 and 11 that sometimes admin doesn't know that they are there or do not use them. First one is automated that mail processing. It means if a email, and admins know this, stuck emails in mail.box in server mail queue. Sometimes the mail is stuck and they cannot be moved forward to intended recipient, neither moved back to original sender. So it is stuck there and waits until admin manually deletes it. Now, and it is since version 10, you can set a rule that those stuck emails will be deleted after some attempts or after some time. So this is improvement for managing that mail queue. If you got clusters, you know that they replicate applications very quickly within seconds, but initially you have to make an application, make NSF database class available in the cluster. So you have to manually create a replica on both server A and server B, and then they are quickly replicated. With this enhancement, you can set that some folders, some directories, in this example, it is mail, apps, education folder, that these folders will be automatically mirrored from one server to another. So immediately if you create a new user and put John Smith NSF into mail subfolder, it is instantly created on the server B, and you can utilize the clustering benefits like load balancing and failover without taking care of manually creating replica on John Smith's database to server B. What is new in version 12.01 is admin queue. It's similar to admin P, like admin process. Admin queue is admin quick, queue for quick. And it is very useful for those of you, for those admins, where you have end users accessing Domino only or mainly from web devices, from web browser, not from Notes client. Because as you probably know, as you maybe know, admin process that takes care of all these automatic changes on server backend, like if someone if someone change the name or is moving into another department and so on, admin process takes care of renaming, access controls and readers fields and so on. But it has to be triggered that by end user opening Notes client and sometime confirming, I've got wedding. For example, if it is lady, I've got wedding, I've got new surname, and this is my surname, okay, and continue. But if a user uses web client only, this never happened. So the request waits and waits and waits until it is triggered from Notes client, and it is not never. So now a subset of these requests, and you can see the list at the bottom of the page, like renaming user, recertifying, public key rollover. They can be triggered and fulfilled even without any user opening Notes client. You can use, since version 11, since version 12, it is much better. You can use Domino in a containerized environment. It means in Docker or Kubernetes. You can run this container platform either locally or in some hosted platform. It's up to you, and you can benefit from this because in version 12 we added a feature called OneTouch Setup. And you probably knew that Domino, if you install Domino, there are two phases. First is installation, and second is setup. Installation, just copy binaries into a binary folder, and setup, do all the specifics for this Domino server instance. Server name, admin name, domain name, basic security settings, network name, host name, and so on. And we can do installation unattended with silent installation with no clicks. It's available for many versions, probably since version 5. But server setup until now required some sort of end user, admin interaction to type in some info. With OneTouch Setup, you can preset these specific parameters into a configuration file, into a JSON file. You can see example of the smallest config file on the screen. And then you can pass this config file to the server and say, hey, this is your first start. Use parameters I wrote into this config file. and start this server and using these variables, using these parameters. Let me show you how it looks in a real world. I've got a Docker installed locally, and I want to start a test server. Actually, it's the latest beta version, and for this one, using local container is very handy, because I do not need a big operating system with Windows and just to run Domino if I want to play with the latest beta version features. I already created image. It's like template that I will use for creating my container. And yeah, this is list of images that I created on this laptop. I use community image maintained by Daniel Laschet and Thomas Hampel, and I will use the latest one. 4 days ago, I created the image for the latest beta version, this one, and I also pre-created this config file with my numbers. Let me show this one, and this is some real use case, real scenario OneTouch Setup config file. You can see this is my host name. I provide IDs that I created already, some notes in parameters, security settings for ID vaults. You can configure some documents in Notes NSF. You can even create web server DOM-CFG config file for web login form and so on. And now I will create a server, launch a server using this config file, start Domino. I've got it beta, and done. Now it is started. Now it starts using the latest beta image, and I can see the log how it is starting. So this is how it is starting, creating credential store and so on, and it creates in the background all the things that I set and that I configured in this OneTouch setup file. So and you can see the start was within a second. I do not need to start a Windows virtual machine and start server in it and so on and so on. And we think this is important. So in each version, we are releasing updates, and in version 12.02, there are also a few updates that makes the configuration file that adds more feature to the config file. So, for example, you can set internet password for a few users that you want to create and so on. Another big improvement that we added in version 12, again, this one, this one is version 12. This one is also version 12, Certificate Manager. So if I created right now a server, I probably want access from any type of internet network. So let's say it not necessarily need to be a web browser access for Verse, iNotes, or Nomad. It could be mobile access from mobile device to Traveler server. And these days, all this communication has to be encrypted, has to be secured via TLS certificates. And in previous version, Domino, of course, supported TLS and SSL certificates and so on. But you as a admin had to use command line and KIR-tool and key-tool and OpenSSL tools and download scripts and Google syntax and command line instructions and so on. Now in version 12, we added certificate store that gives admin the same power, but from the good good looking and the user interface that we all know, which is Notes database. And this is how it looks. So server that I started is Gemini. This one that we started, and you can see it created by default. It created a certificate, because this is how I configure it. A certificate using Let's Encrypt certificate authority. This is the most used generally worldwide certificate authority for internet servers, and it is for free, everybody for free, and it releases certificates for 3 months. And you usually do testing by using staging certificate, and if everything works, you switch from staging to production. This one is staging, so it means Domino created a staging certificate. I've got warning. Yeah, it is still staging. The chain is not fully configured up to the top root certificate. And if I do examine certificate, yeah, you can see it is staging. It means it works. But if I want to do it for production, I need to move from orange testing certificate to green production. This is how you can do edit. You just select, instead of Let's Encrypt, I select production, submit. Submit it. There is a server process running in the back. Maybe it will be. Yeah, you can see Cert Manager processing one request, one process, reloaded, and here it is, green one. And if I do exam certificate, it is going up to the certificate authority. And if I go to web browser and type Gemini, this is the server, refresh. Okay, click, show me certificate, and this is that we are Gemini certificate. Let's encrypt, valid for next 3 months. So this is Certificate Manager, a great improvement for admins that has to manage server certificates. This is for server, not end user certificates. And it is new since version 12. If you have your internal certificate authority, not Let's Encrypt, the public one. If you plan, if you want, or if you need to use your internet corporate certificate authority, you can integrate it with the authority. You can see there is a list of certificate authority DNS providers for the wildcard domain certificates and so on. It is pretty powerful tool. Another enhancement for admins in version 12 is backup and restore. Domino offers backup API since version 5. It's 1999, so it's more than 20 years old. And backup software vendors can utilize this API and bring and develop some enhancements to the classic software backup. And this extension allows the backup software to backup NSF databases live. We know them. These extensions like Tivoli, now it's Spectrum, but it used to be Tivoli Tivoli Storage Manager for Domino, or Tivoli Storage Manager for Mail Solutions, or something like this. But these extensions were usually paid. So companies had to pay extra money for this backup agent. And some companies do not invest into this additional money, and it means they try to back up Domino without this extension, And there are two ways. Either you shut down Domino before doing backup to have consistent backup, or you try to backup Domino live, but without this agent, it's like 50-50. It could backup consistently or it could not. That's why in version 12, we created an extension, a duo, a couple of processes called backup and restore that those processes do the job instead of this backup agent. So we moved the logic of this backup agent from the left side, from the vendor side to Domino side, and it means then that now the vendor just need to connect to the set of databases that are prepared for backup. There is no need for this extra backup solution, backup agent for Domino and so on. All that backup vendor needs to do is backup files from operating system, and this is what every backup solution can do. What this backup and restore for Domino does, you can simply imagine it in the most simple way as a task that every night, if you specify it every night, that every night takes your NSF databases and creates a separate, in separate directory, copy of these NSF applications as they look at this very second. And now you have two options. If you are a smaller company, you can just leave the applications there. It will just double the size because every NSF is now in two places. Or you can instruct your external, your third-party backup vendor and say, hey, in this place, there are a set of databases that you should back up, move it to your storage, to your drives, to your tapes, and so on. And restore works the similar way. You find a database. You say, hey, I want to restore documents. It goes to the backup database. And according to the rule that you specify, it restores database to a temp folder and also move documents to the original location. Let me show it to you because it's really good looking. Notes client. Now we can move away from certificates and let's go to backup, this one. I already did, this is my demo server, and I already did two backups. One was, I think, on Saturday and one was yesterday. So 8th October and 10th. First one was full, and yesterday I did select, full is full, like all NSFs and NTFs, and select was only all NSF files in apps folder, in apps subfolder, so only about 20 applications. You backup by simply typing load backup or load backup apps or something. It's like load compact. Instead of compact, you type load backup and it will do backup. By default, or the easiest way is to set backup location like d/backup, like D drive or /local/ something on Linux. But you can also move it, and I will show you what I did. You can move it to another storage. It doesn't necessarily need to be local storage. It can be this one. It can be like S3 compatible storage for storage objects. This one is on Amazon, on AWS, and I pointed it to this buckets, Domino, AVS, and this is the root point, Domino backup. Now, okay, backing up NSF, name of the server, whether it is full or selective. Let me full. This is the day when I did full, and now all NTFs and NSFs are stored here. So you do not need to store it to backup it locally, but you can backup it to Amazon S3 storage, for example, which is not expensive, by the way. So this is backup and restore. Let me show some application. This one, excursions on Orion, that was backup twice. And let me delete first two documents. Delete, yes. Do you want to delete? Okay. So I'm a user that accidentally deleted two documents. Now I came to admin, and or somebody else came to admin. Hey, there are some documents missing, or I accidentally deleted the documents. Could you please fix it somehow? Yes, I can, says the admin. All he needs to do is just find the application, the list of applications is this one, excursions. To be double check, you can open the database. Yes, it is this one. First two is missing. Exit. And I can tell the John or Mary that came with this request, hey John, I've got backup from yesterday and Saturday. Which one do you want? Yeah, I want the latest one. Okay. Restore. And if you want the latest one, it's very easy. You do not need to specify almost anything. So restore time, you can specify date and then so on. But if you click on this small button, choose now, choose today, current time, and select backup. There are two backups. If I do not want to check the dates, click on this small button, select the latest select the backup that is the closest to the day and time that I requested. So this one. And by default, it will restore it to the /restore subfolder. But I do not want to go into temporary folder, open NSF, and compare documents one by one, side by side, and find, hey, this is missing, this is okay, this is missing. No, I say, and restore it, compare it with existing NSF, and if something is missing, restore it in the original database. And this I had to say is one. This is not enabled by default. Restore documents. Done. Now I said OK, and there is no other request, so I can run restore. Done. Waiting. Yeah. It was quick. Even it means it had to take the data from this Amazon storage. But it was quick. I can see the results. It okay. It was temporary. The whole NSF is restored here, and it found two documents that are in the restored database and not in the production, in the real database, which is this one. So let me open. And I should see, and now you can see Pompeii and Stonehenge that I recently deleted 5 minutes ago. They are here. So this is pretty handy. It's new in version 12, and it means we are continuously adding more and more enhancements in version 12.02 that should be released this year. We plan to add VSS, Windows, virtual shadow copies, and snapshots and so on. So we are working on this. Yeah, this was backup and restore. Speaking about operations, because this section is for admins and how we can make your life easier. Managing servers is easy because there are not much servers usually, but there could be tens and hundreds, sometimes thousands of Notes clients for your end users, for your employees or external collaborators. And you can use as a admin a great tool called Panagenda Marvel Client, which is a way how you can manage, how you can remotely manage and control your Notes client installations. And there are two editions. One is paid and one is free, because it is not developed by HCL, it is developed by HCL partner called Panagenda, and they offer a free version for Domino customers, and free version allows admin to do read only or pull. It means pull data from Notes clients, and paid version means push or edit or update. So if you want just to gather statistics, and in many cases it is okay, and you can get the results as you see on the screen. You can use it, you can just download it now. In recent Notes clients, the binaries are already included in the binaries downloaded from HCL. So it is already preset or pre-configured. Notes client is already pre-configured to be used with Marvel client. So this is my tip. If you are admin and you have more than a few tens of end users, please check it. Maybe it will make your life easier. Now let's talk about admin security, because it's an important topic. We did update in almost every version, there are some updates for Notes ID Vault, ID management. For ID management, ID Vault exists since version 9, I guess. And yes, there are still some companies that do not use ID Vault. If I'm talking to customers, some responses are yes, of course we use ID Vault. Some responses are no, not yet. We did not have time to check it and configure. Please do. If you do not use it, please do. It could save many headaches from admins. And also in the future, some features are only available if you have Notes ID Vault, if you have ID Vault present and using, and users have IDs uploaded into ID Vault. This slide just covers all the improvements that we did, like better checking and update and management of ID Vaults. If your policy somehow doesn't work, so you set policy, hey, John and Mary, their ID should be uploaded into ID Vault, and it is still not happening. You can, as an admin, you can upload the Vault manually. Big improvement is the last one, internet password verification. Now, since version 12, you can set, hey, if you are logging through web to your Verse or iNotes, for example, you do not need to use a separate internet password stored in person document in names NSF, but first check the Notes password that is stored in ID Vault, and if it doesn't work, then continue to a classic internet password. So it is easier for your users just to remember and work with one password, which is Notes ID password, and they can use it for web access as well. It could make calls to your help desk and helpline, less if they are struggling, resetting and changing internet password and Notes password and so on. So this could make your life easier. Speaking about security, we are adding and improving ciphers, algorithm, keys, and so on. And even if you open in version 12, if you open Domino directory and you go to the section where the certificates are set and configured, we will show you, hey, this one you can enable, but you should not, because it's old, it's deprecated, short keys and so on. Please stick with these configuration. And I did it. I I just follow the default settings, and then I run on this server. I run SSL test, SSL check. You see, this is what I did, and you can get a rating. So it was not possible to have from default configuration without no proxy, no Nginx, and so on in older versions. Now it's just Domino. There is nothing in front of it. If you do SSL check, you can get all the checks. Okay, you can see there are still, if you want to go, you can still disable that some weaker algorithms, but overall it's a a feature that is news, I think, in version 10, but it's not very propagated. But so I decided to mention it in some of my client presentations, and this could be a good place. Is a feature called node deletion or node deletion logging. If you set it on the server for a specific database, for a specific important database, like database of invoices, orders, or some with some sensitive data, maybe some HR database or something like this. So you can set that if some delete happens on this NSF, the delete will be logged first in a text file, and then using this application by Daniel Nashed, you can parse and import these text files into database, and you can see who deleted a document in a selected NSF, whether it was user or it was replica process that replicated deletion stub from another server, whether it was fix up because the document was corrupted and fix up to remove the document, and so on. So if you take care about this type of security and compliance and logging, you can inspect this feature. For security, I added a section about DKIM, about email. In version 12.01, we added DKIM for outgoing messages. So it means you can set your server to add a signature on all outgoing emails, and incoming SMTP server can check our DNS server and check that the email that is signed by my mail server really came from my domain. So it is very likely genuine, and it is not spam or some untrusty content. So in version 12.01, we added DKIM for outbound, and for version 12.02, we plan to do DKIM for inbound. So Domino will also check if the sender's signature in email matches what the sender DNS propagates. And what also we plan for 12.02 is integration with content, with third party, with external content scanning vendors or applications or platforms. And if you have a antivirus or anti-spam solution that operates in your environment, you can instruct Domino to check all incoming emails with attachments, to check these attachments with this external tool. And if it is okay, email is wrote, email continues inside Domino and is delivered to Frank and Mary. But if there is some threat, some warning, like there is a virus or some malicious content, it is stopped and it could be deleted or put into quarantine. So it is working now with beta, and we plan to release it in version 12.02. And just a reminder, for version 12.02, we also plan to add SPF checking, which is in hand in hand with DKIM, and all this email consistency checking. Now, I added a quick section about integration with Microsoft products or Microsoft platforms, because admins often have to do this type of integration. First one, just a reminder: if you start Notes client, you are asked to enter password that unlocks Notes ID, and keys in this Notes ID are used to access server. By default, it is unlocked with a Notes password, but if you want, you can integrate it with Microsoft cryptography engine that is in Windows, and it means that if you start Notes for the first time this day, it will try to unlock the user ID not with your password, but with a secret that is stored in your Windows Secure Storage, and you can unattendedly open Notes client without entering password, and you can start using it. The condition is that you are logged into Windows. So the trust is, if John Smith logs into Windows, and in the past he said that with this Windows account they want to make single login to his Notes client, it is stored, and since now he can open Notes client without password. It's something like remember password in web browsers. This is feature in Windows only. On Mac, we do not have Windows cryptography engine, but we have a keychain, something like wallet, like digital wallet for storing secrets and password and keys and certificates, and you can store Notes password in this Mac OS keychain tool. What we added new in version 12 is, and speaking about Microsoft Word integration, is integration with not only Teams, but other, in total 5, web conferencing services. Same time as well also, but Zoom, WebEx, GoTo, Microsoft, and same time. And let me show you how it works. Now okay, so this is my calendar, and I want to plan a meeting, and the meeting is online. Serious plans for serious projects, and I click on this one because it's online, and I select I pre-configured GoTo meeting, which we are using right now, and same time meeting. I choose same time. I do send, and it connects to my company same time server, creates a special meeting server just for this occasion for me, added URL of this newly created meeting into the location, and also if the same time server is set to use call-in numbers, like if you are not on internet but you want to call in with from your mobile device, you can. So it creates this one, and if I go to browser meetings, I should see that the meetings is instantly created. Yeah, this one, serious. And if I delete, because sometimes can happen. Yeah, these meetings will not happen. Cancel the meeting. Yeah, delete. It connects the originating server, and if I do refresh, yeah, it disappeared. So it deleted the one-time meeting because it's no more needed. Yeah, so this is Domi, how to integrate it with Teams, for example, but as well as same time and other online meeting service providers. Free and busy time lookup. if I am from Microsoft in the cloud, I delete it. But if I create the same meeting series, and if I invite people from my company, I can do busy time lookup. I can see if they are busy or not, but from external companies, it was almost impossible until now. So if I would like to Stefano not from Domino, but from Outlook, and this one, and let me click on find available times. You can see first one row for me, because my account is stored on Domino, was updated within a second, but it took another 1 or 2 seconds to get information from external, from the exchange in the cloud, and got information busy for those 2 external people. Let me show you again. See, 1 or 2 seconds more, and now I got this. So this is a new feature. This is a new feature that we plan for version 12.02. But you can see we internally have implemented and it is working. This is a screenshot for you, so you can see it also in your slides. What we added in version 12 is, speaking about integration with Microsoft, is Active Directory integration, or dir sync, or AD sync. It is called with many names, but effectively it means if you have a set of people and groups in Active Directory, you can create user accounts for these people from Active Directory in Domino directory. And if you want, you can go one step more and create not only just an account and email and so on, but also ID and password, so make them real full-featured Notes clients. And since version 12, we offer also password synchronization. So if you change password in Active Directory, the password is changed in ID Vault in Domino side. So it is rather complex. It offers a lot of features. This one slide just show you that yes, we have this feature. If you have a need, you have several ways how to integrate Active Directory and Domino directory or the Domino platform. And the latest addition to this integration family is AD Sync, that is new in version 11 and improved in version 12. And we still offer a plugin for Microsoft Outlook on Windows that allows you to access Domino mailbox running on Domino. Okay. Okay, now the last part. What we have new for developers. It will be a little bit shorter because for developers, I will show it mainly live, what we offer. First one, we added in version 12.01 advanced properties box, which means you finally have a replacement for the small one. So for the small properties box, that was okay if we got a smaller screens. I don't know, 15-20 years ago. Document properties, this small one, but you cannot increase the size. Now advanced properties, documents properties. Now you can have bigger, and you can even search on the left side and on the right side. You can filter out, you can export, and you can even compare. If you select this one and this one, you can compare two documents, which is good for admins and developers if you are solving problems with replication conflicts, safe conflicts, or backup and restore and so on. this tool can show you, hey, these are fields on the left document and right document. What is white is same, green is new, and yellow is updated. Yellow means different value on both sides. It is available for free, and and it is part of the installation. And if you want, and you are an admin and developer, and you go to the Panagenda website, you can download an extension that allows you also edit, because by default it's read only, and it allows you to edit values in fields and so on. But you know, it's too dangerous to put it into default installation for classic end users. So admins and devs have to download and install it manually separately. For developers, we added a set of new features since version 9. In version 10, we added HTTP request and processing request returned in JSON. In version 10, I think, or 11, we added maybe 11, we added Notes GPS that we used in the mobile demo that I showed you an hour ago when I used the Metropolis application. In version 12, we added transaction support. So if you, as a developer, as a Lotus script developer, need to process a set of instructions, all or nothing, so it should not end in the middle and in this non-consistent state, you can pack it into transaction and finish with commit and rollback, as we know from other programming languages. And in version 12, we added a server-side alternative for profile documents. It is called name document, and it is good for storing, you know, these configuration and, let's say, invisible things, and it is better for using than person document on server. We added a tool for developers, which is called database comparison or compare databases. You see the screenshot on the screen, and you can specify to NSF or NTF applications or files, and it will do synapses and compare synapses and show on the left and on the right the differences between those two files. On the screens, you can see there are changes in the edit button and some true false settings, maybe changing phone to vacation phone at the very bottom and so on. So this could be a way how you can monitor changes between two set of templates or template and application and so on. This was update for a classic Lotus script, Lotus formula development, but we added since version 10, we started to add a completely new set of features for developers, let's say new components. And first one was DQL, Domino Query Language, in version 10, which allows developers a completely new way for getting and handling document collections. And it is done through DQL queries. One query is on the screen, like give me all documents where field order city is either Prague, Berlin, or Vienna, and also field order date is newer than 1st of April, or field phase has value 3. And it runs very quickly. Let me show you how DQL runs quickly, comparing to classic, for example, full text search. I will show it in Nomad. You can see Marvel client is connected, and it should be DQL Explorer, this one. There is a database with, I don't know, either 500,000 or 1 million documents of different types, different forms, and one form is contact, and I will give an instruction: give me a collection with all forms, all documents created with form contact. Done within a second, and there is almost 8,000 of these documents. This is the new way using DQL. And if I tried to do it the old way, usually takes 6-7 seconds. Yeah, now the collection is the same, but it took a little bit more time. Now let me do another travel bookings, and now some filter. First name of the person who did travel booking is Peter. Done. 0. It's done. This is the form. This is the formula. Done. 2064. The same with a classic approach. Yeah. 7 seconds and the same. Yeah. So this is why we created DQL in version 10, and it does not start with it doesn't stop with it. It starts everything, because then we added name result set, which means if you have some collection of documents, you can store it as a, let's say, like starting point for another query, where you can specify more and more parameters, and it will be even faster than calculating everything from start. And now in version 12.01 and 12.01, we added another feature, which is called QRP, Query Result Processor, and it allows developers to merge, to join or document collection results from multiple databases. So you can have several NSFs. You can put together a new style DQL queries, old style classic collections, put it together. You can sort it and save it either as a JSON or as a view, or as a notes view. So again, this is a complex topic. There are many materials and a few videos on site, on OpenNTF site, where John D. Curtis, who leads this development, so he presents the use cases and explains everything in depth. This now is just a information that there is some feature that could help you in developing this type of apps. And speaking about Nomad, I showed you, speaking about development and Nomad, I showed you in the first part that there is a completely set of new applications that of new clients, mobile client Nomad and web client Nomad. And on mobile, you have to deal with smaller screens. So we added for developers some tools that allows you to a little bit restyle or redesign application to be useful on smaller mobile screens. And some of them are on the slides. There are checkboxes like show or hide this action button on mobile. Or you can have a filter like if screen that this application is displayed is lower, is less, is smaller than 400 pixels, then do not show this column, for example. So and this is used if you remember the screenshot where I said, hey, it looks the same on mobile and web, on tablet and web and notes client, but on iPhone or Apple phone or Android phone, you had to slightly modify the number of columns because the screen is smaller. And this is how the developer did it using this formula. Yeah. And yeah, so this was what brought our fixtures, our demo company, Showcase Toys, from version 9 to version 12, and now they are preparing, because it does not stop with 12 or 12.01. we have plans. We at HCL we introduced plans that goes beyond 12.01. We named the next version with code name of rivers, Danube, Thames, and Rio Grande. Danube is actually 12.02. That should be released. Next or this quarter. It should be released this quarter, last quarter of this year. And then in subsequent years, we plan to release new versions of Notes and Domino. You can, if you want to play with it, Danube, the latest beta is available for download on FlexNet. And FlexNet and some previews what we plan to add to these future releases. Better looking apps is something that we call Restyle, or started as Project Restyle, where you can take your old looking application and let Restyle to slightly modify the interface, not the behavior, not agents, not formulas, just navigator, buttons, bottom part and upper part of the screen, and so on. It is also available as a beta or part of the latest Nomad version 1.05, where you can test it. It is just first release, so the possibilities are limited, but we are working on improvements. So this is one of the features that we plan to release in the future updates, and this is how Restyle can look like, the old application and the updated. This is what was presented on Engage. And another big update that is also available right now is Nomad for web, running directly on Domino without a need for a specific server in DMZ, running safe links and a relational database and so on. So now with Nomad version 1.05, you can install it directly on Domino. It will listen on a specific dedicated port, and you can access Nomad using this way. Actually, the one that I showed you, this one, is running this way on Domino. So it is another feature that was requested by customer and delivered by our product and development team. As I mentioned, if you are interested in not only version 12.02, but once next year there will be new betas for the themes, for the themes version, they will appear on FlexNet. So you do not need to wait until the final version, but you can download and test and play and experiment with the beta versions as well. And at the end, 2 slides where you can find more information. First is Digital Solutions Academy. That is on this Academy website, academy.hcltechsoftware.com. And there are online courses, online trainings for the new features in Domino version 12, same time, Nomad, security, backup, certificate manager. All the recordings, including this one, this webinar will be recorded and uploaded to this Digital Software Academy. So this could be like your first stop to check for new information. And another one, we in CEE, in this Central and Eastern region of Europe, we maintain a public library of useful documents. Mainly those are presentations or PDF files, white papers, or something like this one, from events that I created, I presented, or from some older technical materials that you can find. Please, if you are into Domino technology and Notes technology, try this website and you will find, we hope, some useful information, some useful documents. That was all for this webinar. We discussed what a company like Showcase Toys could benefit from the latest version of Notes and Domino, which is right now 12.01. We compared version 9 with the editions in 10, 11, and 12. We split it into 3 sections: Notes for end users, news for end users, news for developers, and news for admins. We show in each section new features as well as enhancement of old and existing functionalities. If you have any questions, please type it into the chat. If not, I am available for your questions and my answers anytime in the future. All who registered for this webinar will receive email with links to recording, links to slides, links to the public CEE document library, where you can find this presentation and as well as other related topics for Notes and Domino, and not only version 12 but also previous version. I created documents specifically for developers, so you can find a 1-2 hour presentation, news for developers only, or news for messaging companies only, and so on. So it's just up to you which topic do you want to see. Thank you very much for joining this session. I think that we will continue with similar one a few weeks or few months later once version 12.02 will release. So we will prepare a session just containing news, updates, and enhancement for this Danube release that should be out later this year. Thank you. Have a nice day and see you later. Bye.